Hello guys, welcome back to a video. This is going to be a pretty big video because it is officially like the 17th of February, something like that. Yeah, something like that. So, I don't know if I got the date wrong, but today we have a lot of stuff to do because that is like there are just a week or two left of the winter season, or the dormancy period. I mean, because it's still going to be technically winter or spring, but it's only going to be that much longer of the dormancy period for carnivorous plants, which includes Sarracenia, temperate Drosera, Darlingtonia, Diania. All that kind of stuff is going to be awakening. And I have a lot of stuff that I need to be repotting. So I'm going to be doing that in this video here. I've got a ton of plants to work with. So I've got a bowl of water here, which I'm probably going to need to end up refilling. So pots that we have here are actually pretty big. It's the same pot that I keep my Nepenthes Rafflesiana in, and my Drosera capensis albino, as well as this black pot, which I'm going to keep some typical Venus flytraps in. Camera angle, there we go. So I have these pots for Diania, as crazy as that sounds, because I have 3 plants in specific that are going to get massive and are already really decently sized plants. That would be Diania muscipula DCXL. I've got a B52 and a King Henry to repot. So they are dormant and they're incredibly small right now for how they're going to look compared to the summer. But even as dormant plants, the plants are absolutely beautiful. Like, look at this. This is a DCXL. Let's try and look at that. A beauty of a plant right there. Nice red traps and everything. So we do have a lot to work with these plants. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to get a pot. Start with the DCXL because I've already got that right here. And let's get some sphagnum moss into this water here. This is about a half brick of sphagnum, so this should be 6 liters, right? I have a 12-liter thing, 6 liters of sphagnum. Don't know how big the pot is, but that should definitely be enough to get through one of these at least. I'd be shocked if it didn't, considering this is mostly fresh soil, so I'll still be keeping this in the other pot. Oh, so this is absorbing everything, kind of holding it into the water to force the sphagnum to start absorbing water. Oh, look at that. The water level is just going down. That is crazy. Dried sphagnum moss can take in something crazy like 10 times its weight in water, and it expands quite a bit. So, holy crap, that half brick is pretty useful. Whoa. It's just turning into more and more sphagnum moss. That's crazy. It should definitely be enough to fill up one of them. All of the water is soaked up. There's like nothing left. Like right there, there's a little bit. Look at all that. Amazing soil. So, there we go. Now that we've kind of got this big bowl ready, I think it's also wise that we grab this, because there's a towel there, but my guess is I'm also going to be getting a ton of water dripping out from the sphagnum. So I'm going to grab all of this soil here. And just put some in there. Now, for future reference, it would be wiser to do this further into winter rather than very close to spring like this, because if you do it midwinter, it will actually, what on earth is this? Like a whole fern, something like that. That's crazy. Okay, so if you repot this stuff during the winter, deep into the winter, then you're most likely going to get the plant to root, because then it has all that time to root in and get stabilized into the new soil, expand as it would like before the growing season, so that during the growing season it can do all of the things that you'd like to see, like flower and keep very large consistent traps, which usually have a deep red color depending on what species you have. So there isn't really any need to do much drama with this plant. It's not old soil, like I said, so all I'm going to do is just massage gently around the pot. Still can't get over the size of this traps during the winter time. Those are crazy. Okay, so massage around the pot, flip it over, and kind of just take the pot off. Usually massaging at the base is better than massaging at the sides, because the base is where everything is packed together. Then you get this. A nice, almost, I'm going to take a little bit out. You get like this pre-planted thing. All you need to do is like set into the pot, and it's okay. It's all good. I'm going to take out that soil here, kind of get everything all around. Like that, and now you can kind of just place it in there perfectly, and it just fits in like this. And now all I need to do, all the work left for me, isn't really even work. It's just get some soil, put it around the plant. I'm looking for a specific word used to describe this. Oh yeah, like a plug. It's like a plug of soil, like a Venus flytrap plug that you just put into the soil of your pot, and its roots are not disturbed at all. All it knows, all the plant knows, if it had thoughts, it'd be like dormant, and it's just like, it doesn't really even notice any change even when you're massaging the soil around it, unless you take off all the soil. Like usually it will be wise to look at the rhizome and all, but since I don't need to do that, all I'm doing is putting in the plug. All the roots know is there's a wall here, can't root there, and suddenly there's all this new space, and it's just like, whoa. So it will just root in and you don't really notice much. See, the plug fits nice and firm in there, nice and cozy, that you just fill in the edges, and then you have this new Venus flytrap. And then my second plant is a B52. I'm going to try and make this quick. Don't want to make a very, very long video, because I know not many people like to watch long videos. Like my YouTube shorts are pretty popular, depending on the content, I guess. But I guess it's just, stuff gets boring after a while. I don't know if my commentary is very good either, so this is mostly just me talking. I don't really know if you can see what's happening here. And right here, let's do this. So just keep in mind, I've learned this from experience by now, because it's like I started growing Venus flytraps when I'm 6, and now I'm like over twice that age. So from experience, I've learned that if you've had sphagnum moss for a while in a plant, usually you only need to repot the plant if it is much, much bigger than the pot that it's in, or if it's a very, very large species of plant, like a DCXL, that is ultimately going to need a ton of space to grow into a very large and mature plant. So if you think that the sphagnum moss is old, like I feel like this pot is probably going to be enough for the plant for its whole lifetime, because this is a very, very big pot. And so this plant is probably going to be fine in this pot. Once you have reached the plant's maturity, all you're going to need to do is, I'm going to see if I can get a different camera angle. Like I said, well, like I was saying, once the plant has reached its maturity, there is no other reason to pot it into a bigger pot. All you'll need to do is keep the same pot that it's already in, unless it breaks or something, but I don't know why you would be dropping the pot on the floor. So all you need to do is get the same exact pot, and every 2 or 3 years, just put in some new soil or sphagnum moss. When the plant is mature, it's going to start creating baby plants, and that's another reason to repot it once the baby plant is getting to a decent size, maybe even as large as the mother plant. But all you'll need to do is repot these plants when the soil is old. So I say, I'm bringing this up because instead of instead of looking to see if the soil is old, well, you should do. If the soil is like nasty, then you don't want that. But I prefer to just count. Oh, I've accidentally triggered one of the traps here. I would just prefer to count the years that the soil is, because even if the soil seems gross, that could only be because it is the soil that is on the surface where there is rain, things walking, like bugs walking on it, maybe moss has been there before. You don't know. It gets pretty gross up there because the soil erodes much faster. So I'm going to show you here, actually. Now that this plant is about done, just putting in some tiny things like that. Try and fill in all the crevices. Like this soil here looks very greenish, and it looks like it's covered in algae and nasty, but that's not actually all of the soil. That is just, again, because it is the soil that's on the surface of the plant. So let's get the camera here. Look at this. See how this soil looks very, there we go. The soil in the center, not the new soil, looks very greenish, and it looks like that is not good soil. But once you take off the surface layer, you reveal there is good sphagnum under there. Like, look at that. That is untouched soil. So if you ever see green like that, don't worry. It's probably just the surface of the plant. And okay, that's pretty good. Nothing really to trim. The plant cleans itself up pretty well. It can. So even after the big growing season, I haven't really had to trim this plant at all. And now I am left with a plant in the pot. This is just going to stay here forever. I will never need to repot it into a bigger pot unless I'm making a bog garden, but that's a whole different story. So yeah, all I need to do is maybe 3 years or so, I'll just switch out the soil, same pot, and we can watch this plant grow this summer and see how it changes and reacts to the new pot that it's in. So this is getting to be a lengthy video, so I may actually just turn this into 3 separate videos. So yeah, please leave a like and subscribe. I will make the other videos, post them on my YouTube channel. It's an old pot, we don't really need that. So if you want to check those out, feel free to. Or I might just not, and because that's really the whole thing. That's the whole point of the videos. Probably not going to do very much. But I'll make a YouTube short after this. So be sure to watch this video. Then go ahead and watch the YouTube short where you can see the update. You can see all of the plants repotted, because now that I think of it, I'm probably just going to make one video being this one, because it's the same exact thing. It's just which plant do you want to see be repotted. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. Please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Check out the YouTube short to see how everything is doing. And yeah, bye. See you in the next video.